So here is Misty. We're doing a little challenge here. Can she come forwards and backwards between these barrels without rushing? And what's been really interesting, I've been here probably about 5 to 10 minutes, is that I cannot at this point yet have her stop and look at me with two eyes. And she's not bending her body or being asked to do anything involving flexion. This is just forwards and backwards. And she has kicked and swished her tail and done all sorts of, now that's about as close as we've got to two eyes right there. She has had a lot of opinion about going forwards and backwards between these barrels and just not mentally connected to the task. And so I'm not going to come off this task. She may have gone forwards and backwards through there, but what I'm aiming for is that she can look at me, and I'm aiming for a 7 or above. If I was to think about a scale of 1 to 10, a 7 or above is really what I'm aiming for. There we go, that's better. So I don't want to have to be doing too much to get the back up. I want her to listen to my body language when I bring my life up, that she pays attention. So I want to only have to give the slightest vibration down that line, and if she doesn't back off that, then I put more energy down the line. And again, you see she wants to turn away. Sorry, the camera's moving a bit because I'm trying to do this one-handed. And I just thought it would be really interesting for you to see that. Good girl, that's much straighter. So you can see the kicking and the swishing, and then now she's pawing. She's like, I just want to go forward and carry on. And this is where I'm going to just take the time it takes until she looks at me and asks me a question. Instead of thinking about rushing through and going off and doing something else, she's been wanting to eat grass. And I just interrupt the pattern anytime she goes to look out, off in another direction. Good girl. And I want this to be calm and relaxed and connected. Connected to me and connected to the task. I want her to understand that the goal is walk through the gap without thinking about rushing and without losing connection to me. Good girl, that's much better. Good, and without eating. Not that. So anytime she's looking out, giving me one eye intentionally, you can see we've talked about in some of the other posts about Misty, how she's pretty opinionated, and she certainly doesn't like to be pushed around. And her owner confirmed with me that she does not like the other horses in her herd pushing her around either. So she's the same with me as she is with the other horses in the herd. And so what I want to do is just be able to communicate what the goal is and have her find some peace in the release. And I want her to look at me like, what are we doing this for? And allowing her to find real relaxation once she finds that peace. Good girl. So I'm going to offer little bits of stimulation when she looks away, and then complete release when she looks at me. So she's offering me sort of one eye and still looking off with the other one. Yeah, it's kind of doing her head in because I'm being very persistent with what I'm asking for. Good. And the moment that she can be calm and connected to me and the tail. Sorry, I'm trying to bring the rope in a little bit here. And of course, I'm also building her confidence with backing through that gap from further and further through. So once her drive line, which is her shoulder, once that comes through the gap, then the natural herding instinct is to get through there as quickly as possible and not be in that squeeze. So we're building her confidence with small gaps or more claustrophobic areas, and teaching her that she doesn't need to rush through. So she doesn't rush through gateways or rush out of a float, those sorts of things. So I hope this is giving you something to think about, you know, when you're doing a task with your horse to build communication and confidence. Are you still thinking about whether the horse is connected to you? And you can see she's thinking about walking off on the other side there. She's not thinking about coming to me, which is what I want. Yes, good girl. So everything goes soft and quiet when she's thinking about coming to me. Even better if she was to be able to put her ears forward. Good girl. Every time she looks away, I'm going to interrupt that with a little bit of stimulation. Just picking up my stick because I dropped it. I wanted to stand on the breaking. Good girl. She's still not totally thinking about me though, can you see? She's walking off to the right, my right. So anyway, I didn't want this video to be quite this long, but I really hope that you can just see how important it is to be thinking about connection to you and connection to the task. Not just getting the task done, and to think about the quality. Are you getting a 7 or above? And we may not get that today, but I'm going to aim for better than what I'm getting. And now her butt has come out of the barrels, and I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'm going to take her around the back again and come through, because to back her through those barrels from way out in front of it when she has deliberately moved because it was hard having them behind her is just going to be too difficult for her. So we've got to build her confidence with those barrels behind her and her blind spot, and still trusting me that she can follow my guidance and my instruction to back up and not bang into them. Good girl. Good girl. So that's pretty neat. I'm going to keep building on this as the days go on. But I just thought I'd share with you just why we take the time it takes to get these things good, because really, if we don't have connection, we've got nothing. Over and out. See you next time.